Hi, I'm Chris Conway, Associate Professor of Modern Languages and Faculty Co-Chair of the UTA Arlington OneBook Program. He mentions one metaphor that I think is really cool. He talks about our relationship to different kinds of energy. And he says that when it comes to fossil fuels like oil, our relationship to it is that of master to slave. Gasoline is our slave. We make it do what we want it to do. And that's what makes it so satisfying for us, because it's very easy to burn, to use. It allows us to be so powerful. It allows us to be so productive that our identity with fossil fuel is that of master to slave. But then he talks about what is our relationship to more renewable forms of energy. For example, maybe wind energy or solar energy. It's not a relationship of master to slave, but of a partner, of a collaborator. Now, he doesn't really explain this, but I think this is a really interesting metaphor, because if you think about it, what he's really talking about is if we're going to use alternate forms of energy, renewable forms of energy, we're going to have to make some sacrifices. We're going to have to make some changes in how we live. So we're not just going to, lord it over that energy and just say, make it do what gasoline used to do. We actually have to change ourselves. And what that means is we have to partner up. We have to collaborate. We have to do something on our end in order to work with other forms of energy, such as solar and wind. And so when you think about our relationship to fossil fuels, the convenience, the power that it gives us is that of a master that can have control over a slave. When we think about renewable energy and really changing the source of energy that we're using to run our economy and our daily lives, there we have to give something up. We have to be a part of the solution. We have to be a partner. Halfway through the chapter, Bill McKibben talks a little bit about how we measure value, how a society measures its wealth or its progress, its well-being. Now, the way it's usually done is through the GNP, the Gross National Product, the GNP. Now, he's saying, what if we changed how we measured the well-being of our economy by focusing more on the well-being of our planet, on the well-being of the whole ecosystem, of our species as a whole. And he argued, what he's implying here is, by focusing only on the gross national product, the only thing that we value is wealth, is money, okay, and productivity, okay. And his argument is we need to measure other things, such as the health of the environment, how much water we've got left in the world, how much oil we've got left in the world. Is our air good enough to breathe? Will we be able to live 20 years from now without getting sick and getting cancer very easily, etc., etc. So he argues that there needs to be a different way of thinking about economics. And he talks about ecological economists. And he mentions a few individuals, but what's important here is that he's talking about finding a different model for analyzing where we're at. Now, at the very end of the chapter, he talks a lot about the third dimension of this crisis. Now, if you'll recall, I said at the beginning of my presentation that the third issue was a psychological or sociological one. It had to do with happiness, how we feel as consumers, as people who eat at McDonald's and other fast food restaurants, as people who go to Panda here on campus to buy some Chinese food, what it means to go to the mall every weekend and just shop. We enjoy doing that. It's a part of our lifestyle. So he talks about, does that make us happy? And what have scientists discovered about happiness and people with regards to consumerism, with regards to shopping? So that's how he ends the chapter, and there's some great material there that I hope you'll enjoy and get a lot out of.